My name's Nick, and this happened about 4 years ago. Back in 2021, I was 14 at the time. It was early morning, and I was walking to the bus stop to head to school. It was winter, rainy and cold, which is rare where I live in Australia. From the moment I stepped outside, I had this eerie feeling. I didn't feel safe the way I usually did walking down that road. Something just felt off. I finally made it to the bus stop. It was empty. That was strange because there were usually a few other people waiting there too. Even weirder, it was a busy main road, but barely any cars were driving by. The whole thing gave me the creeps. My bus was late, which was annoying because I was standing there in the cold, shivering. A few minutes passed before I noticed something. This old, beat-up, white minibus pulled up about 10 meters from me. All the windows were covered with curtains. Behind the wheel was an older man, maybe in his late 50s or 60s. He looked rough, scruffy gray beard, old clothes, blank expression. At first, I thought maybe he was lost or waiting for someone, but when I looked at him, he was staring right at me. My heart dropped. I froze. Then I saw it. A faint smile appeared on his face, before disappearing back into that same blank stare. I looked down at my phone, pretending to check when my bus was coming, but my hands were shaking. It was supposed to be here 5 minutes ago. When I looked up again, he was still staring. There was no one else on the bus, just him, and something about him didn't seem like a driver at all. Minutes passed, but it felt like hours. I wanted to cry. Then, slowly, the bus started rolling forward, closer to me. And that's when I heard it, the click of his door unlocking. I was ready to run. My heart was pounding out of my chest. And then I saw my school bus coming down the road. I sprinted forward, waving it down. As I climbed on, I glanced back and saw the man closing his door before driving off in the other direction. That was the last time I ever went to that bus stop. Even now, whenever I pass it, I still look for that same old white minibus, but I've never seen it again. And every time I think about it, I wonder what would have happened if my bus hadn't shown up when it did. It was a hot summer day in Northern Virginia, and because of COVID, our parents didn't let us see each other very often. But we begged, and eventually they gave in. We met in Sonvi's backyard, along with our friend at the time, Mia. All three of us brought our favorite stuffed animals and toys. I brought my teddy bear, and being kids with wild imaginations, we decided to take care of it like it was real. We made it a little bed, we fed it food, and spent hours just pretending and playing. After about an hour, we decided our teddy bear was hungry again, so we started looking for plants to feed it. We searched both Mia and Sonvi's backyards, but there weren't many plants, so we wandered around the neighborhood looking for berries, flowers, and sticks, anything we could find.
Hey guys,
Nitya shouted.
we should go near my house. It has a lot of plants and berries.
Her house was a few houses down from Sonvi's, so we agreed and ran there, laughing and excited. We started plucking berries from the trees near her house, but then Nitya spotted a man in the distance. Standing near Sonvi's backyard, she didn't say anything at first. We kept picking berries until Sonvi pointed and whispered that a strange man was now walking toward us. At first, we thought he was someone who mowed lawns or worked for a neighbor. He started talking to us, asking if our parents were home. That's when we started to feel really uncomfortable. We slowly began walking away, but he kept coming closer. Now all three of us were scared. We turned and started running back toward Nitya's house. Sonvi looked behind us and saw the man following, his pace getting faster. He called out to us, saying he had something to give us, that he needed us to take it to our parents. We didn't believe him. We just kept moving. But Maya, being the youngest, slowed down, and then she stopped. The man reached out, almost grabbing her arm, but Nitya and Sonvi tugged her away just in time. We sprinted to Nitya's house, our hearts racing. Nitya was the last to go inside, and as she turned to close and lock the door, the man was gone. He had disappeared. We didn't tell her parents about it. We didn't want to worry anyone. After all, maybe he just wanted to talk to our parents. About a half an hour later, we went back outside, assuming it was safe. We returned to Mia's backyard and started playing again with the teddy bear. But then, Mia's dad came rushing down the stairs. His face pale, his voice frantic.
Did you guys see a man lurking in our backyard?
He was out of breath, holding his phone, and that's when he showed us a video. It was the same man. One of our neighbors had caught him trespassing, talking to their kids, and trying to lure them with candy. When the neighbor confronted him, he pretended not to speak English and said he was collecting trash, but we knew the truth. To this day, we still wonder what would have happened if we hadn't gone to pick those berries. Would we still be here to tell this story? Would he have done unimaginable things to us? I'm a 17-year-old female living in West Bengal, India. I have a female cousin from my mother's side. Let's call her Swathi. She's the same age as me, and if you asked in our family who's the prettiest, it would be Swathi. The story takes place last year, and it still haunts me. You know nowadays kids are heavily addicted to cell phones, right? I won't say I'm not one of them, I am. But Swathi had an extreme and unhealthy obsession with hers. In fact, she was spoiled. You see, we come from an upper-class family. We don't live in riches. Plus, at the age of 17, maturity develops and we know when to stop whining and demanding like a brat. But Swathi didn't. She was a spoiled princess. She would constantly demand super expensive things, and if she didn't get them, she would threaten people with a knife, sometimes even her own parents and friends. You might be asking, how do I know this? Well, I was the closest to her out of all of the cousins, so she shared everything with me. And by everything, I mean everything, even the horrible things she'd done. The main incident happened in July. I visited her house, just me, not my parents since they weren't available. It was a normal, relaxing summer evening in the countryside. Warm breeze, crickets, you get the picture. We were in the living room, me, Swathi, her mother, and her grandma. Suddenly, Swathi sat up from the couch using her iPhone and looked at her mom.
Mom, can I get a new iPhone next month?
Her mother looked horrified. They had just bought her a new iPhone 2 months ago.
No, honey, you already have one, no? And it's too expensive. Your dad can't afford that much money for the new model.
I don't want to go into detail about the fight, but let's just say it got so bad that Swathi's grandma had to leave the room with me. After that, Swathi became cold and quiet. She didn't eat, she didn't talk, not with anyone, including me. A week later, I returned home. That's when I found out what happened after I left. Remember how she had stopped eating? Well, apparently she stole some potassium cyanide from her school chemistry lab. She mixed it with her lunch in such a way that it looked like her mother had poisoned her food. She collapsed at school and was taken directly to the hospital. There, she told the police a story that made it seem like her mother had purposefully starved her for days and then poisoned her. Her mother was arrested and sent to prison for a whole month. Our family was ashamed, but since no evidence was found, her mother was eventually released. And how do I know the truth? Swathi told me herself, with excitement in her voice. I still get goosebumps remembering it. She was crazy, but luck wasn't on her side. Her parents found out what she had done. Her mother was heartbroken. Her father was in pure rage. He yelled at her, calling her a disgrace to the family, cursing, and for the first time, he raised his hand against her. He slapped her, hard, again and again. By the end, her fair skin was blood red from his anger. And that's when the main disaster happened. 2 weeks later, there was sudden news of a huge car accident. The car's petrol tank was leaking, the tires sabotaged. The vehicle crashed into a tree and burst into flames. The victims? Swathi's parents. The moment I heard the news, I had a gut feeling. I prayed I was wrong, but I wasn't. Swathi admitted it to me later that night with a wide, ear-to-ear smile and a childish excitement in her eyes. She tampered with the car. She killed them. I felt sick. I wanted to cry, to vomit. I couldn't sleep that night or for the entire next month. All this just because her parents refused to give in and to buy her a new iPhone. No investigation was done. The police ruled it a simple road accident, but it was far from simple. Now, my cousin has moved to South Korea to live with her distant grandparents. I've cut off all contact with her. I may not like her anymore, but I once loved her as my own sister. I didn't want her to get in trouble, but after everything, I only hope she gets the medical help she needs in her new home.